Look at this. This is a weird and unusual place for us to be standing, especially because normally I would be really petrified by these heights. But you know what? It's a weird day. It's a weird week. And it's the Sometimes Vlog. It's a vlog that happens sometimes. I don't have the whatever it is that it takes to be all crazy about that introduction. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Sometimes Vlog. For those of you who don't know me all that well, maybe you're new subscribers, maybe you're new friends, maybe you're friends I haven't met yet, this vlog may not be the vlog for you. You might want to skip backwards or forwards a vlog or two and maybe see some funny stories or some crazy adventures or wandering around Walt Disney World or Disneyland or investigating a Target or a Walmart in the middle of the night or something like that. This may not be the Periscope for you, as it may go over your head if you haven't been around for the adventures for a while. Tonight is a pretty big and crazy night. And I'm not just sniffling because I kind of have a cold. I'm sniffling because a duck came by and spit in my eye. There was a duck spit running, and it was a flyby spitting. It was very crazy. There was nobody to report it to at the time. No, my friend, my best friend, my best guy friend anyway, Tyler Evans, rock journalist, who many of you know from the Random Land videos and also very huge part of the Sometimes Vlog, and just a huge part of my life, so therefore a huge part of your lives, many of you, for the past 2 years, has just got off Periscope. The second he got off, I started this. Well, there was a little interlude where I was wiping the duck spit, where he has officially, not just yesterday on the vlog, he also teased it, but today he did an official talk on Periscope Live about leaving Southern California and moving back to his homeland of Georgia. It's pretty much a bummer. Today I woke up and I was gonna come down here to Disneyland. By the way, I'm sitting on the roof of the parking structure here, the Mickey and Friends parking garage. I was gonna come down here and, like, you know, just talk about the Haunted Mansion's closed, but it'll be reopening soon, or whatever normal thing we talk about, or have some fun. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I noticed there were holes in my shoes, so I went to 7 different shoe stores. I'm terrible at shopping. Like, I'm really bad at it. I get really stressed out. I don't know what I'm doing. I know this is a total side note, but I spent all day doing that and just wore myself down even more. I did land on some new shoes. They're exactly the same as my old shoes, only they're gray, which is fine. And a better pair is coming in the mail, apparently. They were on sale, buy one get one half off, so I was wise about it. And then I stopped by Tyler's house and talked to him for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then I tried to go down the road to the Orange International Street Fair that's happening down there, and there was just like a million drunk people everywhere, all crazy, and I was losing my temper. Thought about doing a vlog down there, but it just, you know what, number one, it was super hard knowing that Tyler's moving back to Georgia, and I'm going to give you more details in a second, but just number two, there's just like kids running video bombing, being crazy. And not 2 seconds before that, actually, before some kids were video bombing me, I had seen a really crazy, very tattooed on the face type of dude almost punch another kid for doing the same thing to him. So I went all dad mode on this kid and told him, like, hey man, you got to be careful. You do not know he was out here following someone around all creepy. They're not going to know you're trying to video bomb them. They might do something. So I just was like losing my temper, you know, not my temper really with the kid or anything, just frustrated, you know. Impossible to just do a jovial, fun romp of a vlog. I am totally procrastinating talking about the main thing, which is that Tyler just announced he's moving back to Georgia. For me, everybody keeps asking about me. I was on the Periscope. I watched him say everything that he had to say. And for those of you who don't know the reasons, if it's still within 24 hours, you can go back and watch his Periscope, Tyler Brett Evans. I think he'll leave it up for replay probably. Basically, home is calling him back in Georgia. He moved out here to work on videos and stuff with me. And I'll give him more detail about the little history in a second. But he's got a bunch of stuff going on in his life. Some people were saying quarter-life crisis on there. I don't think Tyler would completely disagree with that. You know, just one of those, he's having one of those things, we all have them, we all go through this, where you have one of those who am I moments, and home is going to be the big part of his who am I moment. Just there you go, so you know what the noise was behind us. and he's got to go back home. He's got to go back home to get in touch with the roots, to spend time with his family. He's got other writing opportunities and different stuff out there, but a big reason that he didn't mention on Periscope, I don't think, not because he didn't mean to, but just because it was kind of hard and emotional for him. Tyler loves all you guys. He, obviously, him and I are like really super close best friends. You know, I love you, man, kind of friends. And it was pretty tough, pretty rough for him. But another big major reason is Tyler, and it goes back to the whole history of doing this in the first place, which is I was in a band, punk rock band called The Scarred. We were on a tour. I had been sort of dragged out of retirement. I have celiac disease. I had been sick for years and years and years. I couldn't really tour. And I didn't put out a record for a while. I was home, just stuck at home constantly. And we put out a record called Live Fast, Die Poor. My band did. And Tyler was still writing for rock and roll magazines and stuff at that time. And this person had convinced us, like, hey, if you put together a tour, I'll fund it, whatever, whatever. So I told him I don't have any money, I don't have anything going on, I'm sick, I've been out of work for a long time, steady work, that kind of thing. I can't really take time away from home and all this stuff. And it's like, don't worry, I got you, I got this. So we had this whole tour planned out. Tyler came on it. We left to go on the tour. The funding was not there. The person kind of highbucked themselves. I don't think they did it intentionally, but it was a pretty bad scene. And we were driving back from Hannibal, Missouri, of all places. And Tyler and I, if you're bored with this conversation, by the way, you feel free to skip it. I won't hold it against you if you skip this vlog. But Tyler and I were in the van while I was having basically a giant freak out. I had been in bands since I was 15, 16 years old and done the same thing. Write, rehearse, play, live, record, tour, come back, record, tour. Just done the same thing over and over again. I'd been in the same scene forever. I'd seen the same people over and over again. I love touring. I love meeting new people, but I've just been in this endless, infinite loop of, you know, you write, record, you tour. You write, you record, you tour. You write, record, you tour. And I had all these other things I wanted to do. I was interested in funny things and positive things. I had been stuck in this feedback loop of negativity, sort of, because I had always used music to sort of like be my outlet for, creative outlet for, like, you know, self-loathing or depression or whatever. You know, I'd put that there. It's kind of like write an angry letter and then you never send it, or, you know, people write their frustrations down and burn it or whatever it was. It was almost like that, you know, put it out there in song and then and perform those songs to people who share the same type of frustrations, the same struggles, and put that out there in the universe, and you kind of all collectively get over it. But at a certain point, it had been like I had just been doing that for so long, like, non-stop, without a break, without any kind of other endeavors or anything, and I had been sick, and that I was expressing my frustration with this coming back, and I just thought, well, I gotta do something different. I gotta do something different with my life. And we hit on the idea of doing some like funny videos and whatever. Tyler and I being behind the scenes, use our other friends in them, maybe collaborate with the people in the van. Well, long story short is that didn't really end up working out. We did a couple things here and there, but it didn't really end up working out. Like, you know, I have plenty of friends in my life that I love dearly, but some of them I wouldn't want to go camping with. It turns out that some of your friends might be really close friends, really great friends. You might love them to death, but you don't really want to, you know, work in an office with them or share a bed with them or, you know, do videos with them. Maybe you'd love to do everything else, play tennis with them or whatever it is. You get the idea. You don't hate them. There's nothing wrong with them. Nothing bad about even their skills or anything like that. I'm not saying anything bad about anybody. But just it didn't work out that way. Meantime, I met Adam, and Adam was going, man, if you're doing videos, I do all these video stuff. Well, I didn't meet Adam. I've known Adam for years, but he's like, I'm doing all these video things, you know. A lot of what I do is like the same shtick that you're already doing all the time, not on camera, just walking around being goofy, because I kind of am the way I am. And very rarely am I this calm. No, that's not true. I calm sometimes. But, serious. I'm very serious right now. But basically, long story short, I ended up being in front of the camera, and then Tyler, who had been writing skits and stuff with me before, and he was writing articles on the website, livefastdiepoor.com, and him and I he moved out here to help me, basically, because the Random Land thing was like kind of picking up steam. Not that it was super popular, but just that it was super fun. It was a really cool outlet, and Tyler was like, man, I can't wait to be part of that, since we're friends and stuff. And then Tyler moved out here, basically, to help me with that. I had to work on the website. He had other goals out here too, like to be a rock and roll rock journalist, writer, and be in LA and the center of things and all that stuff. Well, at the same time he was coming out here, print media sort of took a massive nosedive, even more than normal. A lot of magazines went out of business and stuff. So there weren't a lot of writing opportunities, and he kind of discovered, like, maybe I don't want to be a rock and roll writer forever. Maybe I just want to branch out into other things. But we worked a lot on videos together. You know a lot of this story because he was in the Sometimes vlog. We went on trips. We did all this stuff. Well, basically at the same time Tyler also moved here. He moved into a house that I was living in, and I had been married and all this crazy stuff. If you're not familiar with any of this story, you can go back and there's other vlogs. A vlog called The Origins of the Quest for Positivity. Watch that one. It'll explain a lot more with what details I do want to share. But basically, the second Tyler showed up, it was super bad timing in a way, because for him, maybe, because I was basically right at the same time being dumped, essentially. After, you know, 10, 11 years of being married to someone. It was not my choice, not my decision, not because of something I did. It was all, it does not take two to you know, end certain things. That was rough. And basically there was a little over 6 months, a long time of me still living there while Tyler's living there as a roommate with this situation, where I was trying to fix it, doing everything in my power to fix it. This is important, the reason I'm telling this story. It's not for no reason. Doing everything in my power to fix it, doing all this crazy stuff, but obviously a massive, huge blow to me that ever since I had been 16 years old, I had been with the same person. I had done everything that I could do by this person. Ultimately, being sick, I'm not saying this out of bitterness or to stir up drama or anything, but ultimately, this is the truth. Ultimately, my had been sick for years, had taken its toll, and this person just never really liked me that much to begin with. It's just a mistake, I guess, on their part. That's what they say, but that's not really that important. The important thing is, I was being sucker punched in the face by life pretty hard. And Tyler showed up. Tyler and I had been friends, we acquaintances and casual friends, and talk about The Office, like the show, buddies, and we'd done a couple road trips and stuff together up to that point, but we weren't like super close, you know, whisper your best secrets on camping in your underwear together, friends, sharing a cup of noodle. I don't know what super close friends do. I haven't had a lot of them in my life. I've had a lot of friends, and not a lot of super close friends. And basically, I had nobody, because I had been with my ex since I was a teenager. Everybody that I knew her. Everybody that was my friend was her friend. And in that moment of, and then there was also other stuff, crazy infidelity and all this stuff, not on my part, on the other part, where it was like, whoa, I don't know who to trust, who knew about this and who didn't know about this, and I don't know, you know, and the crazy life hits you that hard, you have no idea what's up or down, you have no idea what's left or right, and I'm just trying to fix it, right? But it's the most depressing, horrible thing ever. Not only was I still sick, we're just finding out about the gluten thing and all this stuff, so it's just barely getting a hold as this is happening on, like, health. I had been, like, bleeding basically out of my body for 7 years, you know, but you know, just I being totally hit in the face that, you know, this family that I thought I had, this whole life that I thought I had was being basically taken away from me, or threatened to be being taken away from me, and I'm doing everything I can to desperately fix it and make a person try to love me who doesn't. It was really hard and really horrible and really bad. And the reason why I'm getting emotional now is not because I'm even thinking about that or thinking poor me, although it was very traumatic and I'm still dealing with the fallout of that, and I probably will for years. Things like that don't just go away overnight. But I got a good handle on that. We talk about that, origins or quest for positivity, and I've been struggling with that for a long, long time. I don't talk about it a lot on the vlogs or anything like that, but you know, it's tough. It does a lot to your self-esteem, your confidence, your self-image, to have a person that's supposed to love you the most for 15 years of your life, basically, in your life, to all of a sudden wake up one day and go, I don't like you, and I've, you know, betrayed you in the worst possible way, and you are scum to me. You are scum between my toes. Anybody know that reference? And that's tough. That's a tough thing to deal with. And here's Tyler, who's like a casual acquaintance of mine, basically a friend, but a loose friend, you know, who, like, at that point, if it were me, I would have been like, man, this is heavy, Doc. I think maybe I'll just go back home to Georgia or whatever it was, who sat there and stood by me for basically well over, 9 months or more while I dealt with that. And lived there still, like, lived a nightmare, trust me, a nightmare. But I couldn't let it go without trying my best and all that stuff, you know? And I wouldn't even have been able to try my best if Tyler hadn't been there, because there were some nights where it's just like, I don't even know if I wanted to, like, be on this planet anymore. And you have this person who's there, who by all reasonable expectations could just say, man, this is too much to deal with, you know, hey, whoa, we're buddies, but not those kind of buddies, and bail on you. And he stayed out here in California. Not only did he stay out here in California, he brought his fiance out here to move in with him, and they stayed there, and they like stuck by me really the entire time. When I went to Hannibal, Missouri to do random lands, or whether it was going on some trip, he quit his job to come with me so I wouldn't have to do it alone. I came back when I found all this stuff, when I lost my place to live. There were nights where, you know, well, maybe we can work it out if I just have some space, you know, essentially separated for 9 months before I finally moved out, and it was finally over, where it was like, okay, I can try to give you space. And I'd come down here to Disneyland basically and have absolutely nowhere to go. Where do you go when you can't be in your house, you know? So you come and just wander around aimlessly. Tyler would just come wander around aimless with me, sometimes talking or letting me talk, and sometimes just being quiet. Like, Tyler is like one of the long story short of it is, the long and the short of it is that Tyler is pretty much like one of the best people ever in the world. Like, even some of my other friends that were super tight with me, I just, in that reaction, that moment, I couldn't trust anybody. And Tyler made himself the person that was like, I'm right here with you, you know. Later on, too, when everything went even crazier and it was totally over, and it was way beyond totally over, you know, crazy divorce is happening, all that stuff, you know, then Adam moved out here during those times, and you know, I made new friends. Like, I made friends with Heimbach and different people, and of course I have another super close friend, the other person who's like the closest to me in the world maybe, which is Allie, and all this stuff. And that all came later. But man, during those horrible times when I was literally just fighting for my own sanity, it felt like at times, you know, because this crazy situation happened. You're losing your car, you're losing your house, you're losing your every day being with your kid, you're losing your wife, you're losing everything. No career, you've been sick for 7 years, you have no career, you have no prospects, you have no future. Get out of here, start over with nothing and nobody and nothing to recommend you, and by the way, everyone hates your face. Like, just a really bad situation. And Tyler stayed out here and worked with me on crazy videos and things that really doesn't seem like it mattered. Funnily enough, at the same time as that was going on, this is all important, at the same time as all that was going on, I realized that a lot of what was keeping me together in this crazy situation were just little things. Like, sometimes the thing that would keep me going that day, or like, and I mean, obviously, like, you know, a lot of you are going to be religious, and for those of you who aren't, you know, choose for once not to get offended, but a lot of you are going to say like, well, you know, that the big guys up there looking out for you, and I don't discredit any of that either, but I just try to keep everything neutral the way I talk about everything, because I have friends of all stripes, creeds, colors, nationalities, orientations, people who are fans of Nickelback, I guess. Like, yeah, I'm just kidding. And so I just try and keep it, you know, whatever. So I'm not discounting anything like that. Just because I'm skipping over that doesn't mean that I'm not, you know, acknowledging that there are other forces at play, maybe, or good luck even, or whatever you want to say. But there are times where the thing that felt like it was holding me together was just the 5 minutes of going on YouTube and watching, you know, those animals that get overdubbed on the BBC, you know what I'm talking about? Just watching those things and just having a little bit of a laugh. And I realize there's probably a lot of guys out there who go to work 50, 60, 70 million hours a week. They come home, maybe their wife hates them and their kids hate them, or maybe their family life is great, it doesn't matter. Maybe they have given up their dreams of football playing in college, the old sports injury, and they can't do what they want to do. And the one thing that holds them together might not be a crazy therapist, and it might not be, you know, some grand party or having the perfect wife or the perfect car or whatever it is. Maybe they never have the house they want. Maybe they never get to go to Fiji or do whatever it is they want to do. Maybe it's not their dreams. And sometimes you don't need your dreams to hold you together. Sometimes what holds you together is just that weird little thing. Maybe that weird little meme on the internet, or that weird little Instagram picture of Fiji that sort of keeps you going. Someday I'll make it. I realized that there was a lot of things that kept me from being literally, you know, just at the end of my rope, that were just these little things. And Tyler and I talked a lot about this stuff, about how, like, well, you know, well, maybe it's worthwhile putting positive stuff out there. And so as we were doing videos and vlogs and different stuff, you know, we just try to emphasize the positive. That's why we leave sex and politics and religion out of what we do, just so that more people can be involved in a place where, like, we don't want to be snarky and cynical, negative, like, you know, do all this stuff. And I really needed that too. I needed it as much as anybody else. And then, as it happened, we were doing that, and all these people started responding and being really happy, like, oh man, we really like these videos, no matter what they were, a silly video about the teacups, or a video about Mark Twain's boyhood home, or just whatever it was, or just hanging out sometimes, like this. There are some people out there who are really grateful and, you know, don't have an opportunity to hang out, and this is the way they hang out. They use online, like it's a different mode of communication, but it's no less valid than all those letters that people wrote to each other back in the day or anything like that. So what I'm saying is we realized, like, oh, you know, you can make a difference doing this. And Tyler had never wanted to be a front man, you know, type of figure. Him and I always had private conversations about how, him and I both kind of like this a little bit, where, you know, oh man, wouldn't it be great to just disappear and go off the grid? Where I feel like that sometimes. I'm like one of you guys where I feel like that sometimes. Like, wouldn't it be great to just be like anonymous, off the grid, living in the mountains, and just no one knows where you are kind of thing? But I would get lonely and probably wear a hole in the ground and walk my way down to China just out of sheer boredom. Tyler, on the other hand, could actually do it. We talked about this on the vlog. We made a joke about this before. He could probably actually do it. I mean, not quite literally, because he did have a kidney transplant and needs his medication and stuff. But I mean, he could actually do it. Tyler had no desire to be in videos. I don't want to say I pushed him into it, because he liked being in it sometimes, being fun. Like, it was fun to do. We did one of the first videos we did together on the road trip out here when he was moving out here, was one, nobody ever saw it, Sun Studios. It was the birthplace of rock and roll, Random Land video, and Tyler popped up in it, literally, and was in the video. Then we did a video, like, we thought, oh, we'll do like music style Random Land starring Tyler, and we did one or two, I don't know, and then it was more like, this isn't the thing. And then Tyler was kind of like, you know, not really in Random Lands that much, but we were writing different skits together and stuff, or he'd work on stuff for the website, like writing articles and stuff. Let me flip around the view so I don't have to look at my ugly face the entire time. And just different stuff like that. And I'm sorry I'm saying "anda" so many times. Anda. Panda, where? Pandas don't live up here. I'm getting distracted. I'm distracting myself. Basically, long story short, is slowly but surely, because the vlogs didn't get as many views as the Random Lands, it was like, oh, I'll be in the vlog, you know, I like to have fun. And Tyler and I have a really good rapport. Like, we can really go back and forth really, really well. We probably should have been a radio show in another time when, how do you get hired to be on our radio show? I wouldn't do it by myself, but with Tyler, I would do it. It would be super fun. We just have a good way of riffing back and forth. We like some of the same comedy stuff. We just have like really good, I don't know, we have a good chemistry thing. Like, we could have been in an improv troupe together and done skits, you know. It was like Wayne and Garth or something. It was like just a cool thing that we had, which we've done on the vlogs. We've done on like we tried podcasting and different stuff. We probably should have done one that was just the two of us, but whatever. It is what it is. And anyway, Tyler sort of got sucked in more and more and more. And so then I was like, I'm out on my own now. I have no place to live. I have nothing going on. I have no career skills. I can go to McDonald's and make $100 a week, and not enough to ever, you know, ever have my own place again or do anything. Or I can make the choice, the deliberate decision to work as hard as I can, doing this stuff and making people happy, the few people that I make happy, and try and do that as full-time as I can. Do my graphic design stuff on the side, because I do other jobs and work as much as I possibly can. Although I have less and less time now. At the time, you understand, I'm still talking about then. And basically try and do that full-time. And Tyler was 100% in. He's like helping me do stuff. We're going different places. If I travel by myself, you know, I'm texting Tyler, hey man, can you send me a little information about this? Because I forgot what year the, you know, thing opened or whatever it is. You know, like Jack Bauer calling the lady Jack Bauer, who Googles stuff on Yahoo. Bing, you know what I'm saying? So Tyler's just been there for me in every way possible with the videos and all this stuff. And it was like, yeah, we'll make Live Fast Die Poor more, instead of just like a name of my album that we just happen to have a domain name of and I happen to have a YouTube channel of, where we landed on by accident. Is it a mantra or a warning? Who knows? You decide. We sort of were like, well, maybe we could turn into this like kind of magazine thing. Tyler wanted to be a writer. We'll have some content here. And then Jeff Heimbach came on board and started helping out with different stuff. Like, I like to help out. Jeff Heimbach is like one of the most prolific, awesome people who just like likes to do, he just likes to do stuff, you know. So he came on board, and then Utmost was like on board, and it was like, man, we can maybe really turn this into something. But the core of it was really Tyler and I, you know, working together and doing stuff. Well, really, we got so busy doing this stuff, and Tyler had to work at this job to get health insurance because he's got a kidney transplant. He needs health insurance to stay alive. I just really didn't end up working that way, and more as time went on, Tyler realized he didn't want to be really in front of a camera that much, because what people don't see about doing vlogs or videos, not the vlog so much, or any kind of video, it was the same way when I was in a band. It's really kind of anything. If you stick your head above the parapet, arrows can hit you. I'm not talking about trolls, I'm not talking about hecklers, I'm not talking about anything like that. I'm talking about you end up sacrificing a certain amount of anonymity. And not that I'm famous or he's famous or any of us are famous or anything like that, but just to the point where I am kind of crazy in the sense that I do this almost Truman Show-esque thing where I have decided to share, you know, as many of my struggles as I can. The only time I don't share my struggles is like, there's so much stuff, you guys. Someday I'll write a tell-all memoir. You would not believe some of the crazy stuff I've seen and heard and had to deal with in the past year of my life. You would not believe it. If I even started to tell you, it would take hours, some of it, to just, really? What the heck? Why? Just, who knows? Life is the way it is. Life is, it's ups and downs, it's crazy, it's wild. I can't share some of those struggles because some of them involve other people, and you're not going to talk about other people. I don't want to tell you about, you know, so-and-so's grandma is dying of cancer if they don't want that to happen, or whatever it is. So I can't tell you that, you know, a friend of mine from high school was suicidal or whatever. I can't do a vlog at their house. It's a sometimes vlog. Look here, I'm hanging out with my friend Eddie all day and he's suicidal. That's an example. It's not a thing that actually happened. Close stuff has happened. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but I've chosen this path where I share as many of my struggles as I can, and I share my failures sometimes as well as my successes. We share adventures, we share a few laughs, we share vistas and views. Right now it's of a Disney cast member parking lot, and over there's Disneyland, and there's Toontown and different stuff, and that's where Star Wars Land will be, and there'll be fireworks up here in a little while if I keep rambling on and on. But basically I've chosen this thing of, well, I'm on Snapchat and Instagram and Twitter and doing vlogs and sharing my life with people because I'm basically, I don't even know what my job is. I make little miniature documentaries, I do vlogs. It's something that one generation doesn't understand, and one new generation is like, oh, he's a vlogger, he's a YouTuber. I totally get it, because entertainment has changed. The nature of entertainment has changed fundamentally. It's almost been democratized. It's in the process where somebody like PewDiePie, who's just a guy who plays video games, can be as famous, if not more famous, than somebody like Tom Cruise. If they have the talent enough, or they're an interesting enough personality, or they're an entertaining person to watch, to listen to look at their pictures, in the case of some crazy photographers and stuff, people now have the option, the opportunity to go out, find these people on their own, online, and follow them. And if you like somebody now, unlike the old days where you wait for Starlog magazine or People magazine or Us Weekly or whatever it is to see a new picture of Tom Cruise, you have the option of going on PewDiePie's Instagram feed and seeing what he chooses to show you that he's doing that day. Well, let's see. People are going to come walk by, but I'm going to continue talking anyways. So the nature, of entertainment has completely and entirely and utterly changed in that way. You now have instant access, instant gratification, but because of that, people's attitudes have changed a lot too. Rather than, I noticed it changing a lot in the band too, like, because I was in a band for years and years. Well, at first, we'd go out and play, people were happy with whatever song you played. But as MySpace and different stuff started happening, and they had seen some of your songs before you came, they'd want that one song. So people are becoming more used to instant gratification, they're more demanding, they're more picky about their taste, but they also, that's one side, but on the other side, they get more invested. So if you follow Shay Carl or PewDiePie or one of the other, you know, a vlogger, or say, you get really invested in their life. It's no different than being super invested in I Love Lucy, or super invested in, you know, a band like Kiss or whatever it is. You know, I'm in the Kiss Army, or I follow, Toby Turner or Graveyard Girl or any of those people. There's no difference. There really is no difference between that or I follow so-and-so's film career or whatever it is. Some bigger budgets, crazier special effects, but really it's what entertains you, what tickles your funny bone or excites you, or what you can sympathize with, or what just keeps you entertained. I'm sure there are a lot of you who think I am a total lunatic or a moron or whatever it is, or an ugly face, but you just like watching me run around in circles, being a weird little hamster inside the little square wheel that is this video player or whatever. So there's a lot of people who genuinely I've met who are genuinely so nice, so loving, And the feeling is, mutual as far as I can know you. You know me better than I know you. You have the advantage on me. Oh no. But anyway, entertainment has totally changed. And that part, Tyler really wasn't prepared for. He's watching me do this and basically become human voluntary Truman Show to a certain extent. I still have a personal life and private things. I keep certain things private, mostly about other people. I share as much as I can about myself. But for him, he realized, he told me this, maybe I shouldn't be telling you this. He told me that, he sees that if he stays, he's going to either get sucked more into that orbit or, this is just one part of his reasons, not the entire reason, or, keep some of his, privacy. It's not the same thing. In other words, he doesn't have the same investment in doing that kind of thing. He had other goals in life, like to write and different stuff like that. Not everybody likes the constant attention, believe me, because I can't vouch for whoever, PewDiePie or people that I don't know, but I know Tyler and I constantly having conversations. Tyler will vouch for me and saying this too, where we constantly worry about people who subscribe. Not that we want more subscribers or whatever greedy weird thing, but we always worry like, oh man, that's not a good enough vlog. We can do better. We can deliver better stuff. Or we kind of had a negative attitude. Let's do it again and do it in a more positive way. Or no, we shouldn't film that. Deaths at Disneyland or something would be clicked on a lot. It might be popular, but that's really negative. Why would we do that? What a downer. How sad for those. We're always second guessing ourselves and trying to do the very best job we can and stuff like that. Tyler just had other goals for other things. Just basically a different set of goals. Crazy, right? So he's got off to do that. So this is a pretty low moment for me. See, here I am right now doing this. And Tyler did that because he doesn't want to let down all the people who've invested in his time, so he's done this Periscope, and now I'm here on the vlog talking about my side of it. And this totally sucks. There's nothing good about it for me. I'm losing my best guy friend in the world. My best, the two people I'm closest to in the world are going to be so far away from me. So Allie's got beauty school and other stuff. She lives a million hours away from me. There's other reasons why, I can't talk to her every day. And then there's Tyler, who is like my best guy friend ever, closest, buddy that's been through this crazy, life-changing experience with me, who is there for me every day, trying to watch out so ducks don't spit in my eyes so they don't get sweaty with respect. Who's going back home to Georgia. So everybody's asking about my reaction. My reaction is this sucks. This sucks. But I've learned something. In all the years of wandering around this planet, not knowing what the heck I'm doing, I have learned something. It is I don't care if you're a parent or a teacher or a pastor or just a crazy guy or a homeless guy or whatever it is. If there are people in your life that you love, this seems to me to be a completely universal truth. And I 100% believe in this. I'm not always perfect about it. Nobody's perfect about it. Don't beat yourself up if you're not perfect about this. But your job is, if you have loved ones, your job is to support them, to love them, and stand by them, even if they're doing something that you wouldn't do. So, even if I thought what he is doing is wrong, which I don't. It's right for him. I trust the guy and his judgment and everything else. But even if I thought what he was doing was wrong, like, oh man, you're making a mistake going home or whatever it was, it's my job as Tyler's friend, as somebody who loves him, to stand by him. If you have a child or a parent or an uncle or someone close to you in your life who wants to do something that you don't like, you have to let it go. If you have somebody who wants to do something you don't like, let it go. I mean, even crazy, like people, some of you who are people of faith who might want to argue on those grounds. I mean, you think about the whole prodigal son analogy and you think about the father. Sometimes you got to let people go and you support them. You don't just say, screw you, you're awful. You support the people that you love because you love them. Now, you don't have to buy someone like drugs if they're asking for drugs or help them to kill themselves. If you think somebody's doing something really, really wrong, you don't have to give them the gun to go rob the liquor store with. I'm not saying something like that. There's obviously a line there to everything, there's everything in moderation. But almost 99.9% of the time, your job, somebody who loves somebody else, whether it's your friend or your daughter or your son or your brother, your uncle, your sister, cousin, your wife, your husband, your dog, you support that person because you love them. And they need to do what they need to do. It's their life. They're a sovereign individual. They've been given this life, or they have this life, however you believe. I'm just going to put it in my own terms. Don't get offended by them. Just take it for what it is. If you've been given, you're endowed
by your creator with these inalienable rights as a person. You've been given your own personhood. Gosh, you gotta be so PC these days, but basically you're your own unique individual person. You can't stop other people from being their own unique individual people. This is a total separate side note rant, but that's the moral of the story is, whether you like it or not, the right thing to do all the time, 100% of the time, the right thing to do is support that person and give them your love, even when you can't give them their blessing, which in this case, I've totally given my blessing. I totally understand. He's got different priorities and different things going on in his life, and being out in California doesn't make a lot of sense. He came out here for certain writing opportunities and to do certain things, and maybe to do his own videos, maybe do this, or maybe do that. And some of them didn't materialize, some of them he realized he really didn't want to do, and other ones sort of vanished opportunities here that have re-popped up over on the East Coast, and he's got family there. He's been out here for 2 years. He did it. He lived his dream to a certain extent. So he's totally got my blessing and everything. It sucks though that I'm losing my friend. The two people closest to me in the world are super far away. So yeah, I'm super low and super emotional about it. But I cannot say enough good things about Tyler. I cannot say enough about what an integral part of keeping me sane, happy, and alive Tyler has been over the past couple of years, like totally by accident too. He started out as a fan of my band at a show in one place. Then we stayed at his house, and then, you know, he came out to visit once, and then we took him on a tour because he was going to write for a magazine. And then we became like buddies, and then, you know, it became like maybe one of the biggest parts of my life story. And so just, you know, it goes to show you never know what can happen, but yeah, it's pretty intense, pretty crazy time. So I apologize that this vlog is a little weird, it's a little personal. I'm just sitting on some steps, just talking at you by myself, feeling very emotional, not gonna lie. That's another thing I strongly believe in. Like, it's okay to be emotional and have feelings and whatever if you're a dude. All art, literature, and history is full of people that have emotions and feelings, and we're dudes. So even, you know, the big heroes of religion and science and history and everybody has feelings, even the ones that pretend not to. Some of us just they lie a little closer to the surface, a little tender. So yeah, I'm a little tender about it. There's people running and going crazy. There's fireworks are gonna happen over here. Yeah, I'm bummed, super bummed. It super sucks. But I'm gonna get it tomorrow, and maybe the vlog will suck and I'll be super distracted, and maybe I'll be super distracted. I mean, I found out I'm going back to Walt Disney World. Some super generous people have been super generous doing Patreon supporting and doing other things, because apparently some people agree with what we were trying to do. They understand what we were trying to do. Well, now it's really just me. But it's crazy. That's been mind-blowing. So there's, you know, good and bad things happening. Like, all the people I love are super far away. But at the same time, I know all of you guys now. I mean, to a lesser extent, obviously, but there's all these other blessings in my life to, you know, to use that word. Yeah, I totally would use that word. People on Patreon and different other people are doing certain donations. So we can go back to Disney World, we can have more adventures together there, or do this or do that. But yeah, this is tough. This is super tough, distracting. I'll tell you, morale-wise, it's a huge, gigantic, like, punch, right? Just sucker, you know, right to the, ugh. I don't blame him, I'm not mad at him. There's nothing weird between us. Super cool, everything is cool, super positive. But yeah, I gotta tell you, honestly, taking it pretty hard. It's pretty depressing. I am pretty depressed and bummed out about it. But I choose to look on the bright side. I choose to support my friend, obviously, and be positive. I'm sure someday, you know, all of us are gonna hit a situation where we have children who are like, I'm gonna go join the military. No, you're not. Or I'm gonna go join the circus. No, you're not. Or whatever it is. Or they're gonna do things that we don't like, but our job is to support and love them, no matter what they choose. So Tyler can choose to go be a yak farmer, and my job as a person who loves and supports him is to love and support him. That's my job, right? I'm his friend. You want to have people in your life, you got to love and support them. You can't just fight them and get selfish. I want you to stay here and take care of me and cater to my every whim and carry my camera bag and put your beat of progress in the videos. It's not about you. That's life. It's not about you. It's about doing the best you can do for other people. That is what I honestly believe life is about. Tyler has always done that for me, and I will do no less for him than put him before myself. Isn't that life? And not put people in front of yourself like, I'll tell you what's good for you, but put people before yourself, realizing that even if they're super close to you, and even if you think they're making a mistake, which I don't think he's making a mistake, but I'm just using it as an example, just support them. Be on their side. So yeah, I'm taking it hard, but the Q4P is Q4P game is strong. I'm really low and depressed, but it's natural, it's normal, it makes perfect sense. That car alarm is beeping, so it's more upset than me. I'm not beeping as much as it. But yeah, now I've spent one of the longest vlogs ever talking about one little incident, but giving you a little backstory, a little history behind our project and our collaboration together. And just, you know, Tyler never wanted to start his own videos, never wanted to start his own vlogs. He never wanted to be like Mr. Spotlight tap dancing guy. And he has different goals and different things, and maybe he'll be back. You never know. He could go there and be like, all right, touch base for 6 months and come back. And I'm obviously going to visit him, you guys. I'm obviously going to stick him in vlog as often as I possibly can. I'm obviously going to try and Heimbuck him into getting into all kinds of crazy situations with me, because that's what I do. I end up just sucking my friends into all kinds of zany things because I'm a black hole of weirdness. But yeah, super rough that you know, all the people super close to me. And that's no diss to any of my other friends who are close, but I mean, friendships are like tree rings, and some are closer at certain times and further at certain times, you know what I mean, close to you. But yeah, it's tough. It's really tough. And as much as I'm like super grateful, and don't think I'm whining for a second, that I have all of these newfound people who, whether you've been following the vlogs for 2 weeks and you're just kind of, hey, I like to give you a thumbs up every once in a while, or you're somebody who like is a contributor on Patreon, or you wear the shirts, or we've hung out, or I've made a lot of new friends this year that I am actually close to, you know. But then there's those people in your life that are like family, like right there, you know. So it's tough. It's tough to not have that. It really is. Because I'll tell you what, sometimes the more attention you get, the lonelier you are. Sometimes the class clown is the loneliest kid in the room, no matter how many people are pointing and laughing with him or at him. Sometimes the class clown, the one that's laughing the hardest, is also the saddest. And I have lived both of those things at various times. I'm living them now. It's pretty rough. But at the end of the day, you know, it's not like he's moving to Timbuktu. The internet exists. So I'm not losing my friend or anything. It's just, but it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to be alone and miss out on that. A lot of people are asking if I'm gonna move into Adam's house. No, Tyler's moving out. Nope, couldn't afford to do that if I even wanted to. And no, that will not happen. Not for any negative reason, but just that's not gonna happen. What's going on there? They'll decide between themselves. Like I said, Tyler did his own Periscope. He'll be around. He's got a Twitter, Tyler Brett Evans on Twitter. Just if you report back to him about this vlog, tell him I said all kinds of mean stuff about how he's a jerk face and I don't like him. Don't say that, but you know, it's tough. And I am giving him a little bit of crap for it, but only in like a friendly way. I really do support the guy. I really love the guy. I can't say enough about him, but I've already probably said too much, and I probably already have embarrassed him in all of the ways that I could embarrass him. It's time for me to go now. I'm going to go wander around this place much like I did when my whole life was changing before, and think and contemplate and just try not to be too bummed. The end of an era is approaching. He's not moving tomorrow. It's gonna be a while, but it's pretty crazy. So there you go. I did not do this vlog because Tyler and I are world leaders and you need to know every detail about us. I did it because that's what I do. When I share the zany adventure, I'm sharing the zany adventure, and when I'm low and things are not that great and I think things kind of suck, I'm sharing that too. I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. I never claim to be perfect. I'm not an expert on anything. I never claim to be. I'm just a person like the rest of you guys, and this is pretty tough. Thank you for sharing a huge chunk of my life with me. Seriously, I really appreciate it. The upside of all the stuff that I've done with Tyler's during this whole time is I have met a lot of you people. I have made new friends, you know, with so many people. I had so many wonderful experiences with all of you guys. It really does mean a lot to me. I don't want to go into a whole other emotional thing, but it's cool. We're still gonna have plenty of adventures. I'm not going anywhere. Where else would I go? I got nothing but you. I got nothing but you. So we're stuck together forever. But yeah, crazy situation. There you go. People wanted a long-winded explanation and answer. I've gone about 10 minutes longer than Tyler, so I win. And there you go. That's what's happening. The way I understand it. I could be wrong. I might have got some facts or details wrong. Forgive me, Tyler. But that's the long and the short of it. And crazy. So Tyler will still be in sometimes vlogs and maybe random lands. We'll see. Before he goes. But eventually he will go to Georgia, and we will still be in California and Orlando and Georgia and wherever we go. So we're not going to never see him again, but yeah, definitely the end of an era. The band is breaking up, kinda, but I'll still be around. So for those of you who are about to rock, I salute you. I got to go to the restroom and to eat something and to just try to wrap my head around all the crazy changes in my life. As many blessings as I have and as many wonderful things as are happening and exciting things are going to happen, it is definitely true that I'm not, not 100% where I'm at in my life. I don't have my own place to live. I don't have the people around me that I wanted to have around me every day, for lots of reasons that I can't control, or they can't control sometimes. And I just, not everything is great all the time, but I try and look on the bright side. I try and think of the future. I try and do the best I can and be the best person I can and hope that everything will turn out right in the end. And sometimes, at the end of the day, no matter what you believe in, sometimes at the end of the day, all that you got is a little faith, and that's what you have to have. Little faith that if you do right and be the best you can, do the best you can, that maybe, even if things don't turn out perfectly the way you want them to, that they're going to turn out for the best, What can you do? Keep on keeping on. I love you all. This got weirdly deep. I apologize for that. And it's time for me to go. I don't know what else to say. We will miss Tyler's crazy sputtering intros. All right, if you want retrospective, if your eyes are as wet as mine are about to be when I push the stop button on this, from Duck Spit, of course, none of us are emotional. Go back to the Random Land channel at youtube.com/livefasttypeor, and I think there's a video called like When You Film Yourself for a Year or something like that. It's a first year of a Sometimes vlog, kind of like mishmash, all combined together, and you can go on there and watch the past year and a half or so of Tyler and I having a lot of fun. There's a lot of Tyler and me in there. It's super cool. That's probably what I'll be watching tonight. I also apologize that I uploaded this vlog in 360. I have used up 20 gigs of data uploading vlogs this month from my phone, and I couldn't let a 40-50 minute vlog upload in HD, especially when it's just my face. So tomorrow we'll do something different, and the next day we'll do something different. We do something different all the time. There's plenty of other old vlogs, so I apologize if you were expecting a ride on the teacups or something. I love you all, I really do, and I gotta go, so I'll see y'all later. By the way, Tyler, he's done his duty. How could I stop him from going home and sleeping well?